Sustainability is the talk of the town today in Las Vegas, where food lovers are gathered for the Winter Fancy Food Show.
I just like the way that sounds. This year, the festival's highlighting foods that are good for you and for the planet.
I like that. Food blogger and friend of the show, Jerry James Stone, is at the show this morning. He joins us now with a look at what's headed to the grocery store.
Jerry, so good to see you this morning. Thanks for taking a break from your Vegas fun to talk to us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so how big of a focus would you say sustainability is at this year's show?
I would say sustainability each year is growing more and more and more. It's one of those things where, this show is really about the future of food, right? That's what the fancy food show is. And so makers, when they're bringing stuff to market, are really looking at one, how is this product going to be accessible? If you want something that's sustainable, that usually means it's vegan. If you want something that's accessible for everyone, but you also want something that's good for the planet, because if you're making a product that you can't sustain, you can't succeed, right? And so makers here are really, really focused on that.
Okay, so let's go slow. So let's start with what we sip.
There we go.
You found a tea that's created to save energy when you brew it?
Yes, yeah. Cold brew teas have kind of been popping up for a while now. People have just been taking traditional, conventional teas and cold brewing them. You get a much more mild tea. The tannins are softer. And now tea makers are looking at how can you actually roast that tea so it specifically performs and is delicious when it's cold brewed. And that's just another great way that we're saving energy, conserving, and also having delicious tea.
Oh, yeah, nothing as refreshing as a nice cup of cold tea. Okay, so that pink sauce that went viral a few months ago, that also makes your list. And okay, so admittedly, I have no idea what we're talking about here, so please tell me what it is, and then also tell me why it's making your list.
I am here for you, so you're in luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that pink sauce was everywhere, and the maker that created that sauce, they really wanted to have something that everyone can appreciate. And so they thought about okay, you have this viral sauce. And I believe the original sauce was not vegan and was not gluten-free. But when they brought it to market, they really had to think about how can you make this sauce accessible? How can you make it sustain? You want something that everyone can enjoy. And so they focused on making a product that is that. It's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's sustainable, and it's delicious. It's really tangy and creamy. And if you haven't, it sounds like you haven't had it yet, so I highly recommend trying it.
And it's pink. You forgot an important part.
It's pink.
Yeah.
It's so pink.
Delicious.
It's so pink.
Yeah. So milk producers in California are making positive changes. That's some good news. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we kind of forget sometimes when we're focusing on the future of food and being sustainable is that you have these legacy industries, something like making milk, which is very simple, that also have to change. And you have to support those people in changing too, because they've been doing it for a really, really long time. So California milk makers are using 88% less water in producing their milk. And that's something they've been striving for a really long time. And as you know, outside of maybe the past month or so, we're in a drought. So water is a big deal for us in California, so they're really looking at ways to improve the process. They're also capturing that methane from the cows and reusing that methane to make energy. So just kind of having ways that they can keep moving forward and that we can support those legacy industries. It's really important for the success of any sustainable brand.
I think it's important that you said that the dairy industry is moving forward, Jerry.
Yeah.
Move. Anyways, okay, switching gears quickly. I wouldn't think that you could make honey any better, but you're saying there are some people who found a way to maybe do that. So tell us about that quickly.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're really seeing here is regenerative farming. And what that is really kind of farming in a sort of biodiverse, ecological way. And this forest honey is one of those examples. Instead of, a lot of times you see honeybees out in the farm, instead of having an actual agricultural farm that you've sort of deforested or whatever to make room for all these honeybees, they're just doing it out in the forest where it's with nature, right? They're with the animals, they're with the soil, they're with the pollen, all the different flowers. So by farming the honey in the forest, they just kind of work with nature, which of course is again more sustainable. You're not trying to change that ecosystem, you're trying to just take advantage of it.
Oh, I love that. Just better ways to move back in the right direction. Jerry, I love talking to you. You always have so many great things. I learned about pink sauce.
Me too.
Yeah, so thanks so much for being with us. I hope you get to enjoy some of the fancy food there in Vegas.